Welcome back to Midwest Conversation YouTube channel. We are going to talk about some corporate media hypocrisy today, but before we go there, I wanted to just remind you that you can find a Midwest Conversation on Substack, midwestconversation.substack.com. You can go over there and you can subscribe for free to get access to all of these YouTube videos one day before they release on YouTube. You also get access to the one day early version of the audio of Midwest Conversation podcast, which comes out every week. And then you also have access to an archive of some written pieces on there as well. Now, there is a $5 a month option to subscribe to a Midwest Conversation. So if you would like to support the channel and support the work that I'm trying to do, you can subscribe on there for $5 a month, and you get the video version of the podcast the day I record it, which is on Fridays, which would be one day before free subscribers and 2 days before it drops on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. You also get all of the YouTube videos one day in advance, just like the free subscribers. You get the free written pieces, and you also get access to some subscriber-only pieces that I've written as well. So head on over to midwestconversation.substack.com and subscribe. Thanks. Sunday, May 30th. CNN posted an online article by Kate Bennett titled, "For Biden, the White House is a Monday through Friday kind of place." The piece details how Joe Biden likes to take the weekends off and spend them at his home in Delaware. A spokesperson told CNN, and by the way, they decided to keep this person's identity private to preserve relationships. But this spokesperson told CNN that the fancy living style of the White House was too fancy and too corporate for Joe Biden. So instead of spending all of his time there on weekends, he likes to go home. I don't know why you want to keep that statement a secret. I don't know why that's relationship ending, or if the source was even a real person. We don't know. But it's kind of fucking stupid. A stupid quote to want to keep private to preserve a relationship, in my opinion. Anyway, the deputy press secretary, Andrew Bates, told CNN, quote, "All Americans can agree it is important for leaders to avoid becoming ensconced in Washington." First of all, who gives a shit? Really? Really? Who cares? Do you care that for 30 years before he became president, Joe Biden took the Amtrak train from his home in Delaware to D.C.? I don't. Do you? Who gives a fuck, man? And do you really care that even now that he's president, he still enjoys his time away, even though he can't ride the train anymore because it's harder to move the president? Or it's harder to move Biden now that he's president? Who gives a damn? Joe can't ride the train anymore. I also love the quote from Andrew Bates, because it's so ironic that the article says for nearly 30 years he rode the train, trying to make him seem like a working class guy. And then his deputy press secretary tells the same reporter writing the same article that it's important for leaders not to become entrenched in Washington, even though you just said how he's been in Washington for 30 years. How do they not see that contradiction? Isn't that hilarious? It's so, like, ignorant. I don't know what to call it. It's awesome. It's so funny. And what gets me is the blatant hypocrisy in the mainstream media. Now, bear with me here. Think about if this exact piece were written 2.5 years ago. Okay? Think about that. Do you really think the article would be as flattering and as sympathetic to a lonely guy who doesn't like the fancy living of the new house that he's in, so he likes to go home for the weekends? Do you really think it would be a soft tone to the piece? Do you really think that they would have sympathy that he's lonely? Do you? No, you don't think so? Well, that's because you're right. It took me 11 fucking seconds to find pieces from Politico, from CNN, and from NPR all trashing how Donald Trump used to spend his time out of the White House, right? CNN made a fucking chart of the last 3 presidents and how much time they spent away from the White House on the weekends, okay? NPR broke down the numbers of how much it cost taxpayers every time Donald Trump would leave the White House, okay? And Politico said Trump was inappropriately promoting his brand when he would take vacations to his privately owned clubs and shit. Now, this is not me defending Donald Trump at all, okay? Do I think it is right for any president to garner pretty much free advertising for their private clubs? No, that's sick and that's gross, okay? It's actually an impeachable offense, according to the Constitution, for a president to personally profit from the office. So this is no way, shape, or form me saying that Donald Trump was right at all, because he wasn't. Guy's an orange fuck, okay? He sucks. But anyway, all I'm doing here is pointing out the problem with corporate media, okay? I'm pointing out the smoke show that one side is always right and can do no wrong, and then the other side is the root of all evil in the world, okay? That's what I'm getting at here, right? The leading factor in the way our country is being completely ripped apart is corporate media, the big 3, Fox, CNN, and MSNBC, right? They're echo chambers for the strongest ideologues. The word is dumb, but I'm going to try and say it anyway. Ideologue. Ha. The biggest ideologues in the country have these massive platforms on these corporate media websites and corporate news outlets, which you can't even call them news outlets anymore because they're fucking echo chambers. They're echo chambers for rich people to completely destroy and rip apart the country. That's what the big 3 are. And this is a blatant example of them picking a side, right? CNN claims to be the down the middle 24-hour newscast. Well, they're not, okay? None of them are down the middle. Fox isn't down the middle, MSNBC is not down the middle, and neither is CNN. It's an issue that grinds my gears, okay? It's so irritating, and I wanted to point it out because no one else talks about this problem. Well, thanks for watching this video, and like I said in the beginning, you can head on over to amidwestconversation.substack.com and subscribe there for more and early release content. Thanks for watching this one. Be sure to hit the like button, subscribe here, and share with a friend. Thanks.